Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Flash for the win. Welcome back to another StarCastTV commentary. Today, we're going to be bringing you a best-of-5 series between two very accomplished players, Soma and Mini. It's going to be a PvZ. So, without further ado, let's get right into the games. Match number 1 will be played on Fighting Spirit, spawning up here at the top left-hand position as the yellow Zerg. It's going to be Soma, which means that down here as the blue Protoss spawning at the bottom left-hand position, it's going to be Mini. So for those of you who are new to the channel or don't know much about these players, very accomplished players. Mini was a very solid Protoss player. A little bit of a slump right now, I've got to say, but he has been very much a top 4, top 5 Protoss player right now in the league. Definitely, I would say, behind players like probably Rain, Bisu, Best, and maybe even Stork to some extent. Oh, and Snow, I can't forget Snow. So he's kind of slumped a little bit. I would say that before his slump that he was a very high-level Protoss player, probably easily top 3 almost. I think this is before Bisu came back, and this was when Rain was dominant as well as Snow. That he was probably 3rd best. I think he was better than Best in some aspects of the game. Better than Stork, definitely. Stork has finally made some resurgence. But we see here with Soma actually going for, looks like what appears to be a 9 pool. Very interesting. We'll see if he adds on gas to this or if it's going to be just a gas trick 9 pool. Most common these days it will be just a gas trick. We'll see. No, it looks like it's not. Oh, it is a gas trick. Okay, there it is. So yeah, 9 pool speed generally not the best build order these days. You almost never see it except for ZvZs. ZvT, it's just too easily countered by 1RX fast expands, and 1RX fast expand is just your beautiful, middle of the pack, very economic, very safe standard build. And in PvZ, I mean, Protoss players these days are just so good at defending against it that it's almost pointless to go for 9 pool speed. You might as well just go 9 pool and put pressure. But in this situation, actually, 9 pool speed would have actually been better because Gateway First actually just hard loses to 9 pool speed. There's just no way for your Zealots to really easily defend. You probably just have to give up your pylon and block the top of your ramp with Zealots. It's just so difficult to defend. Otherwise, you're going to have to pull so many probes. We see here the probe is going to come, see the drone blocking out, but it will see no hatchery. And it's got to know that something is up right now. Maybe potentially an overpull is coming out, but it did get a first probe scout. Anyways, a little bit about Soma as we see these first initial Zerglings come across the map. Soma, again, like I said, a very, very good Zerg player, definitely a rising star right now. He's definitely a very strong player that just needs to mature a little bit in some of his decision-making processes for him to become that top-tier Zerg that we know that he can be. Obviously, right now, behind players probably like, Zero. Actually, Zergs these days are a little bit in trouble right now. They don't have as many excellent players to go into their roster, especially with the departure of Jaedong and Larva not being as good as he used to be. Effort also, effort's been okay. Oh, a couple of links get by actually here from Soma. Definitely a little bit of a miss micro here from Mini, and without speed, luckily these links won't be as serious of an issue, but with 4 lings, I mean, that's still quite a significant amount of Zerglings. Definitely going to see how many probe kills that he will get. Meanwhile, we're going to see what counterattack with a single Zealot coming out here for Mini while he tries to defend back at home, and he definitely does not want to make sure that he doesn't lose any probes here. I mean, getting away with 1, maybe 2 probes lost will be slightly okay. And there's the first one that goes down. Definitely a couple more probes going to go down there. There's a second one that goes down. Definitely a little bit strange that Mini decided not to probe drill right there when the Zerglings were inside the mineral line. But we will have to see. There's a 3rd probe going down. Really nicely done here from Soma, and only 1 Zergling will be left over. This will probably just be a scouting Zergling to see what's going on here inside the base of Mini. I doubt that the Zergling will do much more. Definitely a little bit of a miss micro here. Yeah, probe is already down to 5 HP, and the probe with the last snipe. Very nicely done. Well, 2 Zealots here, actually. Both of these Zealots getting quite a few Zergling kills. 3 kills total on these Zealots. A couple drones are transferring over to the actual base, but a decent amount of Zerglings have been produced. 1 Zealot's already very badly damaged, and these Zerglings, well, it looks like they're just going to go for a counterattack. Very strange here. Maybe Mini yeah, he's going to realize this, and the Zealots are just going to walk over here and start attacking the spawning pool. I'm not quite sure about this counterattack here from these Zerglings. I guess they're trying to ward off some of these incoming reinforcing Zealots, but I don't know, back at home, I mean, this spawning pool is already down to half HP. There's obviously 1 Zealot here that's badly damaged, but he cannot afford to let the spawning pool go down. Speed is about to finish, so that will be nice for him. Won't have to deal with it, but oh my god, he's actually going to lose. Is he actually going to lose the spawning pool? This would be such a bad situation here. Now, Speed has finished. Okay, last Zealot will end up going down. 100 HP left over on this pool. will not end up going down. Is there a cannon home? Yes, there is one cannon home to defend, and that will basically stop a horde of Zerglings. No matter how many Zerglings that Soma makes with a proper Zealot block, these Zerglings are just not able to get through. So yeah, as we get into the mid game now, we're seeing the third hatchery come up here at the third base for Soma. A very low count of drones, you've got to think here. I'm not sure if drones went down back at home while he was microing Zerglings here to attack probes, but definitely, as we can see here from the worker count, 10 drones only so far. So he is in a world of hurt right now. He's just going to go straight into the 3-hatch Hydra build, but definitely very low on the drone count. I don't think he can even afford producing out of all 3 hatcheries. As we see this third hatchery, a very sad hatchery, just banking up larvae right now with nothing to produce it on. And we know that normally the most optimal economic version of the 3-hatch is going to be 9-7-3. 9 drones in the main, 7 drones at the natural, and then 3 drones here at the third base. Or, you know, you can move some drones around here or there. But as we see, obviously, only 7 drones on minerals, 2 drones on gas, not even a full saturated extractor, and so far only 6 drones over here at the natural base. Now, obviously, we've got a couple more drones popping out of these. Another drone is here now at the third base, so he is trying to power up to that 973 drone count before he starts making Hydras. But, I mean, the Hydra speed's about to be finished, and normally this is the time where Zerg would already have Hydras moving across the map, about to utilize that Hydra speed. But with how many extra Zerglings that he has made here, it's just so hard for him to come back economically, as well as the fact that, you know, he did manage to pick off quite a few probes, but against the 9 pool, again, losing a couple probes is not the worst case scenario, because of the fact that when you open up something as standard as this Protoss opener, you're just not really hurting in terms of a probe count. You're going to be able to probe up very easily. As we see here, he's at the 34 probes already, so his economy basically was not touched. 3 probes is not a significant amount of economic damage, and so he is going into this position into the mid game with a very comfortable lead here in a PvZ. And definitely, as well, Corsairs coming out already. We're going to need to see some Hydras moving across the map. Yes, here come the Hydras. They will start moving across very quickly. The Corsair, the initial Corsair, will end up seeing these Hydras, or they should see these Hydras coming across the map. And Groove Spines is almost done as well. And here he is. We see the Hydras coming out here. We see that there's very low count of drones here. No 4th hatchery. We'll see Hydras moving across the map. They probably will go scout out this third base as this Corsair moves overhead just to make sure that he sees everything. And back at home, Mini's definitely got to be needing to start making more cannons. Yes, here they come. The cannons are being made. Quite a few Zealots though. Zealot speed upgrade is on the way as well. It's about 2/3 of the way done. Templar Archives is being started right now. And the +1 forge is really what's going to be coming in here most importantly. First cannon gets sniped off right now, but the Zealots are doing a very good job of warding away these Zerglings and the Hydralists. All the Zerglings are pretty much dead already at this point. Zealots definitely have to just continue to attack these Hydras. They will have to trade a little bit inefficiently to make sure that these cannons do get up in time. Third cannon will come up, and I think that this will be safe enough here for Mini to deal with it, especially once +1 forge upgrade finishes, as well as that leg upgrade. Some nice Zealots coming in here, getting some damage down on these Hydras. Very heavily damaged Hydras right now, which means that these cannons are going to be able to 1 or 2 shot some of these. And once leg speed finishes, yes, here's leg speed finishes, and that +1 will finish. I mean, these Zealots can actually probably bust through right now. Are the gateways being made back at home? No. Mini's forgetting a couple of these gateways. He does have a second gateway right here with a Dark Templar overhead. There is an Overlord here that's very low actually on HP, 13 HP. So if the Corsair does manage to pick off that Overlord, DTs will essentially stop this push indefinitely. The +1 will finish. Very nicely done. Mini's stalled enough for that +1 attack upgrade to finish. That's one of the most important upgrades here for Protoss to win the game with. And here comes that speed lot attack. There we go. There comes the Corsair picking up the Overlord. Really well timed actually by Mini, moving forward right as the Corsair goes overhead to attack the Overlord, so that the Hydras are focused on the Zealots, not the Overlord. Is very smart here. Is there another Overlord coming up overhead? Yes, 2 more Overlords coming in, but the DT is actually going to sneak by. It's going to slip by here. One Zealot actually managed to get all the way around here, and will try to wreak some havoc over here at the third base. A couple macro hatcheries coming up. It will be 5 hatcheries worth of Hydras, and the layers started on the way. Very delayed layer, I've got to say. We'll see if this Overlord did manage to scout out this DT. I think he knows that something's up, because this pack of Hydras should not be here. They should be pressuring the front right now. But he is playing very defensively here. Will he end up seeing this DT? He will see it. He will see the DT. The DT is going right underneath this Overlord. And the Hydras, yes, they will end up seeing this Dark Templar. He knows that it is out here on the field. And now we'll probably end up camping this Overlord right overhead on top here. DT manages to slip by with 6 HP. And Mini maybe actually over making some cannons. I guess he was just really scared about another extra wave or 2 of Hydras being produced here from Soma. But we will end up seeing, yes, just more Hydras streaming across the map. Soma's playing very low economic game right now, not even a second extractor being built. He is end up going into now 6 hatcheries with the evolution chamber, but definitely needs that second gas in order to sustain economically the upgrades as well as the mass Hydra production. We probably will end up seeing him go into more of a droning style. Yes, there are a lot more drones, 7 more drones being made here, but again, no second gas. With Aspire coming up, definitely needs to get that second gas coming up online. There it is, finally the second gas is here. Meanwhile, +1 armor for Mini is about 2/3 of the way done now, so very nicely done with his upgrade timing. A Storm has also finished for these High Templars, which are, you need to find them first off. Where are they actually? Are they in the main? No, I swear I saw one High Templar. Maybe it was picked off. No, here it is. Okay. Oh no, this one just popped out. Interesting. Huh. Anyways, definitely a lack of High Templar here. Oh, DT's coming in here. A sick DT drop. I didn't even realize that the robotics facility hadn't finished actually. So DT drop is coming in here right now. We'll end up picking up the layer most likely. The Overlord is trying to desperately slowly get back up here, but the Hive is already layer is already halfway taken down. Will the Hydras get back here in time either? Oh, here's the High Templar. This is where it was. A nice Storm there, picking off a couple of drones right there. Very well done. The layer's picked off right now. I wonder if he'll go for the spawning pool, the very badly damaged spawning pool that he ended up having earlier. Yes, 1 DT will go after spawning pool. 1 DT will hide here in the corner and try to drag this Overlord over spawning pool. Spawning pool will end up going down. Yes, it will. This DT will sacrifice his life in order to pick up the spawning pool for the other guy. And in the meantime, Shuttle with still 1 more High Templar out here, and the Zealots are moving across the map. Now, I'm not so sure about this High Templar move out. He should know that there's a lot of Hydras right now inside of the base here for Mini. Will end up, or sorry, for Soma. Will end up picking off that Dark Templar here, but the Zealots are going to try to crash on here. They do have 1/1 upgrades, while there are no upgrades here for the Hydras, so definitely a very strong economic advantage here for Mini with these upgrades, but definitely cannot attack into this many Hydras. And as you can see, yes, Mini is up in supply by 10, but again, Hydras are very supply deceptive units, only costing 1 supply here against the 2 supply Zealots. So there's a lot more Hydras than you really expect here out of an 82 supply Zerg. And another beautiful Storm here, 5-kill Templar right there, wonderfully done. And right now, yeah, I mean, Soma's just in a complete devastating economic position right now. He's got basically no drone saturation at all. He's got his main picked off right now. Definitely quite a few drones being picked off there at the natural. His thunder base is mining comfortably, yes, but as we see here, he's banking 6 larvae and he cannot even produce out of them. So he's just really far behind right now, I've got to say. And Mini definitely should just look for, I mean, he's already prepared for this Mutalisk attack. He's just got to sit back, slowly play out this game, make maybe a couple more Corsairs. Yes, that's exactly what he's doing right now to deal with the Mutalisks. And beautiful Storm there by Mini. Wonderful Storm. Picking off so many Hydras right there. 6 Hydras going down. A couple more being softened up. And at this point, you know, Mini has 2 options. He can either attempt to just build up some more gateways right now, which it looks like he's already got... Oh, I mean, he's got 8 gateways total anyway. So he's already at the optimal count. So he can either choose to expand here or just go for a game-ending blow. And with his 1/1 upgrades against the no upgrades here from the Zerg, I mean, it seems like going for just a complete aggressive break here looks like it is going to be in the cards of him. Now, there's +1 upgrade here for these Hydras, but I just don't think it's going to be enough, especially with the +1 armor neutralizing that +1 attack upgrade from the Hydras. And especially with the Hydras getting caught in here to this little area. Will the High Templars get nice storms up? Yes! Beautiful storms. Will we see another storm coming out there? High Templar? Yeah, GG. Instantly GG. No drone saturation, and the storms are just too perfect here from Mini, and that will be game number 1 going over to the Protoss player. Really well done. Yeah, just definitely a little bit of a miscue there, moving out of Zerg instead of just dealing with the Zealots and allowing himself to build up a much larger drone count. And because he went for so many Zerglings in the early game, I mean, he was sitting at 10 drones. And I guess what must have happened is that Mini ended up killing quite a few drones there in the early game to set himself back. Because I don't think that you should be at 10 drones that late into the early game transition into mid game. But overall, very well played there by Mini. And we'll be going to game number 2 here. It's going to be on Circuit Breaker, spawning over here at the top left-hand position as the green Zerg. It's going to be Soma, which means that over here as the blue Protoss, it's going to be Mini at the top right-hand position. So definitely, if we're going to see another aggressive game coming out here from Soma, I definitely expect them to take this mineral-only base as his third. Whereas definitely Mini is going to be much more comfortable trying to take the 3 o'clock expansion for his third gas. Definitely a slight disadvantage, I have to say, for Protoss, in my opinion. Protoss has a disadvantage here because normally Protoss likes to take these 4 bases here, the middle only, into the 12 o'clock base. The third base is slightly harder to defend just because you have to push across your very safe bridges here. And as Protoss against Zerg, you definitely don't want to see your army get pinned against this wall as you take that third base. So it's got to be very careful with how he plays and moves across during the mid game as he goes to take some additional bases. So got to be very careful as we see the game progress through. Instead, actually, we might not even see a very fast game. We're just going to see a cheese, probably a 9-9 gate here. Yes, there's the first gateway on 9. Any probes being made? No, it will be a 9-9 gate. Center proxy gateway. And this is definitely an interesting theory here from Mini. Mini is thinking, well, listen, you went 9 pool last game. There's no way you're going 9 pool this game. You're probably going for something like a 12 hatch to play more economically this game. And as we can see, it is going to be the 12 hatch here from Soma. So Mini has just hard read, absolutely hard read what Soma is going to do. And this could be a very fast series, as a matter of fact, if Mini decides to just pull off this game really quickly. Now, he will scout out this base here down at the bottom left-hand side. We'll see no creep. We'll move across. Will he see the Overlord, actually? This is actually important. If he sees the Overlord here... No, does not see the Overlord. The Overlord, I don't think, saw the probe either, so they don't know actually where each other's positioning are. Now, the Drone Scouts cross-map. If the Drone Scouts cross-map here, we could see that he's going to react this properly in time. The drone... Oh my god, he's just barely missing it. He's just barely missing it. Does not see the pylon. Oh no, he does not scout cross-map here with that drone. The probe... I guess it looks like he's trying to scout out for that second overlord coming out, so he should know that yes, the spawn location here is going to be top left for Soma. And Soma with additional drone out here. A little curious why this... Oh, he's going for a third base right now. He is going to see the Zealot. The Overlord does see the Zealot. The drone's going to have to pull back immediately. Knows that this is a center gate. He sees nothing here at the front. I mean, he could still be spawned down here, but I doubt it. Anyways, drones are going to have to be pulled here or something. Definitely needs to pull a couple more drones here to get those creep colonies down for the Sunkens. And this is exactly what the probe is trying to do here. The Zealot's trying to ward away this drone, stop it from going after and planting down that creep colony. Now, one probe here is going to try to stop one drone. The other drone here will get a time. No, it does not get a time. The drones are now pushed off the creep. This is so bad here for Soma with no creep colony going down right now. These drones are just in a world of hurt. The Zealot could pick up the drone right there. One drone goes down. Nice movie shot there for the probe. And now he's just going to have to build sun colonies back at home. Yeah, one sun colony built at the main right now. But, I mean, I would just say just leave this base. This base is just forfeit at this point. There's way too many Zealots out here. A lot of Zerglings coming out here. We're going to see how good the micro is here from these Zerglings, but without a creep colony, it is just so difficult to defend here with the drones. He's taking these tremendous economic damage. Another drone goes down. That is just 2 drones now going down. The creep colony finally going down here, but the Zealots are just going to wall off the front here with the Zealots, trying to stop the Zerglings from coming down. The Zerglings are going to try to come down the ramp, pick up the probe. The Zerglings are going for a surround here, but the Zealots with a very good micro here, pulling back here from Mini. The Zerglings are just continuously falling right now. More Zealots are screaming across the map, and this hatchery is just going to go down right now. A couple drones are just trying to mine from this natural. The Zerglings are trying to surround the Zealots, but there's just way too many Zealots right now out, and you know it's bad when Zealots are basically outnumbering Zerglings here. This hatchery will end up going down. There are hardly any drones left over. Now, a couple of Zerglings are going to try to come across the map, but without speed, I mean, it's just so hard to micro these Zerglings against these Zealots, especially when your main is getting pressured here with 5 Zealots out against the Sun Colony. This should be a very easy push here and a take into the Sun Colony. Sun Colonies, again, are very, very badly damaged. Structures, only 300 HP, very flimsy. Here come the Zerglings, though, trying to get inside the main base. Let's see how many probes they end up picking up there. 1 probe going down, 2 probes going down right now. A couple of Zealots are trying to wall off the ramp right now, but the probes are just going to be able to ward off these Zerglings. Yes, only 2 probes going down here, and that's going to be GG. Well played here by Mini. An excellent build order win coming out with the proxy 2-gate against the 12 hatchery build. And that is going to be that. Mini is going to be taking a wonderful 2-0 lead here in this best of 5 series. Could be a very fast series. But definitely a little bit of a miscue there. I think Soma definitely needed a second drone out there a lot earlier, maybe even 3 or 4 drones, just so that he has a lot more options to put down creep colonies. The one game that I like to reminisce about for how to properly defend, my StarCraft is crashing. This is not good. Well, this is certainly weird. I apologize for that. My StarCraft crashed. So give me a second as I boot up the game again. But Yeah, one of the games that I like to bring up about how to properly defend a 2-gate versus 12 hatch build is that your hatch will get up in time and it'll be very healthy enough to deal with the zealots. So you just need to bring a lot of drones down there to make sure that you can drop down crypt colonies as soon as the hatchery pops up. But with only 1, even 2 drones, I mean, with how well processors are able to micro these days, they're just going to bring the probe and bring zealots and stop the crypt colonies from going down. So it's just really difficult for a Zerg player to defend if you don't bring a lot more drones down to defend. There we go, StarCraft's back up. We got the replay booting up. And game 3 will be played on La Mancha desert tile map here. And, whoop, hold on a second, sorry, up there we go. Finally showed up. Now, spawning down here on La Mancha at the bottom right-hand position, it's going to be the green Zerg Soma, scouting the right direction. Meanwhile, over here at the bottom left-hand position as the blue Protoss is going to be Mini up 2-0. So Mini has definitely played a very fantastic series here. Defended so easily against that early 9 pool in game 1, and then obviously a very hard read metagame play there with the cheesy 2-gate in game 2. Alright, so La Mancha definitely a very interesting map. I think the third bases are much harder to defend than Fighting Spirit because obviously of the ramp. And that definitely does not bode well for a Protoss player, especially with how open this section of the map here is if I can go into diplomacy and rebuild the entire map. So one thing that is important to know about La Mancha is that it's similar to Fighting Spirit, and your third bases are the exact same position as every other third base, and actually very close to these natural bases. In fact, more Fighting Spirit is more like these are tucked more towards this side, and there is a much larger choke point here to go around to get to the third base. But we got to be very careful here. There's that very sneaky, again, because of these are not high ground pads, they're a lot easier to maneuver as a Zerg player. And yes, you can position an army here, and this will block out this choke, and then this choke here for the third base is all you have to defend really for Protoss. But very difficult to defend on this map just because of how open it is, especially with these ramps coming out here. Lurker play is definitely something that we will have to watch out here from the Zerg player. Anyways, coming back in here, we're going to see the, looks like a 12 next coming out here from Mini. So Mini's just hard game reading Soma like a book right now. I mean, Soma did in fact go for this 11 hatch build. It looks like 11 hatch 10 pool. Wow, I mean, he's just so far ahead already. A 12 next versus a 12 hatch, basically, is definitely favored for Protoss. Protoss is going to be able to probe up so hard and reach that early portion of the game where he's just going to be able to push out so many zealots and maybe get out a very fast push here. Not even scouting with this probe, just so greedy, but it's going to pay off. I mean, the Overlord will end up seeing, and we'll see that the scouting information is this bottom location here, because the Overlord did reveal himself, and he will see that there is this 12 Nexus going down right now. And he's just going to be so upset. He's just going to think, well, you know, I'm already behind. It's almost like every Zerg that doesn't go for a 3 hatch before pool against Terran, especially this was like back when Jadon was playing his Flash all the time. Jadon had to go 3 hatch before a pool in almost every single game because he knew Flash was just going to go for a 14cc. And every time Zergs didn't go for 3 hatch before pool against 14cc, I mean, Flash just rolled them. I think Flash was pretty much like undefeated when he went 14cc versus a 12 hatching Zerg that didn't go 3 hatch before pool. But Jadon, I mean, he didn't find a counter. 3 hatch before pool does counter 14cc. But it's just so risky. Both builds are so risky. But I mean, at a pro level, especially when you know how each other plays, those builds are capable of being executed consistently. Anyways, going to the game, similar going down here. So everything's looking standard for both players right now. We do see just a couple of Zerglings here. Nothing overproduced right now for Soma, just building more and more drones. Definitely does not want to fall behind in the drone count compared to last game. As you can see, already at 15 drones compared to his measly 10 from game number 1. Cybernetics Core now going down as well. We'll probably see the second Simulator being dropped very quickly as well, unless he is going for some kind of maybe 4-gate Zealot leg upgrade timing attack. Meanwhile, Lair is being started here for Soma. I'm not sure if Mini ended up seeing it. No, he actually hasn't even gotten up inside the main base yet. So he actually doesn't know if this is going to be a Hydralisk attack or if it's going to be Lair. He's going to try to get up here right now. Wow, he does end up going down or getting up in there. And he will end up seeing the Lair. So he knows exactly what's going on. Sees the Lair timing as well at 4:15. means that this layer should be halfway done, and he does not expect for this to be some kind of bait cancel at all. Meanwhile, second similar has gone down, and it looks like it's just going to be a Stargate Tech opener. So nothing out of the ordinary. We're not going to see any kind of mass gateway attack just yet, at least. We'll definitely see him go up to 6-8 gateways later on in the game, but it won't be that really fast 4 gateway Zealot leg upgrade attack. And especially because he does see the layer, it's a lot riskier to go for something like that because you know that your Zerg is going to get early Spire, and Spire just hard counters the 4 gate leg upgrade attack. Meanwhile, actually a robotics facility coming out here for Mini, so definitely a very big potential here to go for something like a Reaver attack. Maybe some we could see Goon Reaver is definitely a possibility. Sarah Reaver definitely not as common. Definitely also not the map that you would expect Sarah Reaver to be played on. Normally, when you think of Sarah Reaver, you're thinking of like pseudo island maps, you know, very close based maps like Andromeda. Definitely a very good map. Back in the day, Andromeda was your pinnacle of the Sarah Reaver in PvZ, and BC did perfect Sarah Reaver on that map, in fact. A little skirmish outside. Zealots did manage to pick up that win, only losing 1 Zealot for quite a few of those Zerglings. And now the Corsairs are going to be out, moving across the map most likely. Pick out some Overlords here, or just go after the main base. Scouting information. Spire is just about to be finished, so we'll see if the second Corsair comes out over here and goes after this Overlord. He should know that there is at least 1 Overlord at the top of the map, at the very least. And instead, we will just see a very fast shuttle. So definitely looks like once the shuttle is halfway done, we'll see the support bay coming out. Yes, it will be. So it definitely looks like it is going to be Sarah Reaver. Very interesting. I just don't expect Sarah Reaver to play it anymore. It's such an old-fashioned build. And especially on a map like La Mancha, that doesn't have many close bases to each other. You know, normally when you think of good maps for Sarah Reaver, we're thinking of bases that are super close together, that are very abusable by air. Like I said, Andromeda was probably the best example of a map like this. Katrina was not a bad map for it because of how close the bases were. Circuit Breaker probably not even a bad map for it. But you definitely want a lot of chokes so that you can drag the Hydralisk around while abusing your air. Especially because late game Corsair Reaver definitely transitions into something like a carrier style, in fact. But here we go. A couple Zealots moving in here. Gonna try to distract the Zerg a little bit. Pick off quite a few of these Zerglings, but no drones having gone down so far. Very nicely done here for the micro from Soma so far. These Zealots have not gone much done at all. Only picking off a couple of these Zerglings. Now definitely going after these drones, but again, just no drones really going down. Very well microed here from Soma. These low health drones are just very comfortably sitting back at home right now. In the meantime, we will see these Corsairs being banked up. Looks like there was a pause there. I was about to say, why is there chatting? But meanwhile, 2 Zealots and a Reaver out now, and these Corsairs are just probably waiting for, 5th Corsair, as well as the +1 upgrade coming out here. Will we see the +1 Carapace upgrade? Is very important to watch out for. And the Scourge, only 1 Scourge connect, but he will see the shuttle coming out here, so he should know that this is looking like some kind of Reaver attack right now. Yeah, no +1 Carapace upgrade. The shuttle speed is also almost done right now, and we'll see how well this attack goes. The Hydras are moving in right now, and it's really difficult here to defend against this with only just these handful of Hydras. Definitely needs a lot more to defend right now, especially with the Zealots being able to body block quite a bit right now. And we're going to see this Hydras, they're going to try to look for a sniper. A couple Hydras moving across right now to snipe, and they're going to go straight for the Reaver and the shuttle right now. The Reaver is going to be sacrificed. Does manage to pick off quite a few of those Hydras before they end up going down, but definitely not what Soma, or what Mini, was looking for with that initial Reaver. But now actually, he bringing back the Hydras into the main. He's going to be actually able to get in here and kill off so many of these Overlords. Does end up losing one of the Corsairs. That's okay. These Corsairs, especially in this build, are something that you're easily able to afford to reproduce. Compared to a more standard build where losing any Corsairs is really hard to reproduce from, because you're looking more into a ground army instead of this Corsair Reaver style of play. Now we will see if it's going to transition into a Dragoon Reaver, or is he just going to go to a standard game right now. And we're going to see these Corsairs moving across the map. They do see a couple of these Overlords right now that are a little bit weak. But we do see that this shuttle has shuttle speed right now. A lot of these Overlords are being popped out right here on top, and the Reaver is going to be out right now. The Hydra is going to have to focus on the Reaver, or will they focus on the Corsairs right now? But there's so many Overlords that are going to go down right now. Mini is in a great position right now. Pick off so many Overlords. The Overlords, just red numbers are just so unlucky to see from the Zerg opponent. But the Reaver, was this too ambitious of a Reaver drop? No, he will be able to pull out right there. A lot of Hydras ended up coming out here, popping right out on top of the Reaver, so he had to pull back. But now the Overlords are being taken down piecemeal, so easily being picked off here by these Corsairs. Now, there are only 3 Corsairs left over. They will have to regroup right now to be reinforced by a couple more of these Corsairs. A couple more Corsairs are being produced right now from Mini, and now 2 shuttles worth of units are just being pushed across the map. He is going to try to continue to extend this pressure, extend this harassment, but I definitely feel like he needs a couple more cannons to defend, just in case of a counterattack here. With only 2 cannons, it's going to be so difficult here for the Protoss player to hold off. A couple more Scourge are able to connect here onto these Corsairs. Corsairs definitely are very badly beaten up, especially with how many times that they flew over those Hydras. More Scourge coming out here, and it looks like a couple more Corsairs are going down here. Yeah, only 2 Corsairs are left over. One of them is badly damaged, and these Reavers in the back are maybe getting pincered here into the back corner of this base. They're gonna go for Spire right now. This is a very good tech choice to go after. Spire will end up going down. Yeah, Spire goes down. The Reavers are here. They're gonna try to pick off as many Hydras as possible. It looks like both Reavers will actually end up surviving right now with only 2 Corsairs, or 3 Corsairs, sorry, to escort now with the 4th Corsair coming out. Another Overlord, free Overlord here if Mini wants it, but no, Mini will focus more on trying to harass, and he's done a fantastic job here of harassing. That being said, the drone count here is still is tremendous right now for Soma. He's at 41 drones compared to the 44 probes here from Mini. Another Corsair does end up going down, unfortunately. Oh, more Overlords just being rallied en route here, and more Reavers being ferried over into the natural base now. Will this Reaver end up going down? Reaver is getting targeted by these Hydras, and he will just sacrifice it. The shuttle is actually very red shuttle health right now on this last Reaver. Reaver goes down. Oh, and it's so unfortunate here for Mini. But I think that Mini, he is still going into these Reavers. He's still using them. Very interestingly enough, he's morphing Archons instead of Storm, or is keeping High Templar for Storm. I think he's saying that, well, I don't need more splash damage. My Reavers will be my splash damage, so I just need more beefier units to stay up in front of my army, and that is going to be my Archons. Normally it can be Dragoons, it can be Zealots, but this time it's going to be Archons. Very beefy, although Hydras are really good against Archons, so maybe this was potentially not the best idea. He's also going into a +2 upgrade instead of a +1 armor against Mass Hydra like this. Also definitely a little bit of a curious decision here from Mini, although that being said, Archons are much better with the +2 attack upgrade compared to armor because of how much damage they get. Hydra's bad drop here from the Reavers. The shuttle goes down. The Reavers are just now caught out in no man's land. Now the Zealots and Archons are kind of taking 2 fights here at the same time. The Reaver needs to get himself into a good position to fight against one side of his army and needs to get some good splash damage shots with these Scarabs. The Archon is so beefy, tanking up so many of these Hydra shots right now. This Reaver, though, will end up, looks like it's going to go down. No, a beautiful Reaver shot there. We'll pick up those last couple Hydras right now, and the Reaver is just slow pushing its way in. Will the Hydras end up getting on top of the Reaver? The Archon is just 1 HP left basically on the Archon. The Hydras need to attack this Archon. The Archon just is 1 attack away from going down right now. It did so much more damage than it should have, and it's actually, oh my god, if this Archon ends up surviving, that will be so bad here for Soma. Soma had a beautiful opportunity to kill this Archon, but it will not end up going down, unfortunately. That Archon did so much work there, body blocking for that Reaver. And again, a very nice attack there from Mini. He's just trying to, again, stall out this army push here from Soma and continue to keep this game into a very scrappy ordeal. Now, this Archon is still very low health. He's got to pull this one back. Probably want to wait up for some shields on that Archon. Otherwise, it's going to go down very, very quickly. Again, DTs this time, actually, with this drop. Are there any Overlords in the base? No, there are no Overlords. So, if he drops a couple DTs here, this could actually go very well. No Overlord here in actual either. This is so bad here from Soma. Will he end up losing all these economic advantages that he had with the 44 drones that he used to have? He will end up seeing this Dark Templar here in the main base. Overlords are moving en route now. There are a couple Overlords here as well that are able to defend and protect here at the third base, but we do see a little scrappy force coming in here to the third base. So, oh my god, Mini's playing like beast right now. He's trying to drag the Zerg attention everywhere across the map right now. And now, here come the Zealots right now. There's not much defense here. Only a few Hydras to defend this third base. Now, Soma's going to have to re-rally his troops over to that third base. Will the shuttle be there in time as well? Yes, the Reaver's going to be dropped down. The splash damage is going to hit 4 Hydras. Beautiful Scarab right now. 1 more Scarab left over. Is going to pick up a couple more of these Hydras. The Zealots are going to get on top of these drones as well. Will we see the shuttle? No, shuttle end up going down to the Hydras. But is there 1 more DT? Did he keep a DT back here in the base? It looks like that the DT didn't end up going down, in fact. So He's just trying to out-multitask his Zerg opponent right now with going every which way possible, dropping in the actual, dropping the main, dropping in the third base. He is playing like Bisu with that multitasking, as we can see, but he is starting to mine out here from the main base. He definitely needs to start thinking about grabbing himself a third base right now, and also the fact that his army composition is still not the best. Dealing against this pure Hydra force. Definitely want to see a couple more ranged units being mixed in here, like Dragoons, but I don't think he can afford them right now with how much he's investing into this robotics facility with these shuttles, with these Reavers, but he just needs to grab a third base right now, otherwise he's going to be mined out. Ironically enough, with how much economic pressure that was being done to Soma, he's nowhere near mined out, especially because one, Zerg mines out much slower than Protoss and Terran, but also because the drones are moving back and forth between these bases so often that he can't mine at all anyway, so he's definitely in a position where he cannot mine as well. But here come the Hydras, here comes the Zealots. Oh, okay, Storm, not the best Storm right now. The Hydras are getting, picked off the shuttle. I think there was a Reaver in that shuttle. That's a big pick off right here. And now, it's all gonna come down to the Storms. The High Templar are in position. The Midi, pay attention to your High Templar. Oh my god, the High Templar go down. The 3 High Templar are back here. They're undefended by the Zealots. What are you doing, Mini? Mini, you're throwing this game. I really thought that Mini had a fantastic position here. But now, with all of these High Templar going down here, to these Hydralisks, I mean, there's just nothing left over here. The Zealots are going to go down. The Reaver ended up going down as well. I mean, these Zealots are trying to do as much damage as they can against these drones. They will end up picking off a couple of these drones, but God, Mini, if Mini had some better Storms there and didn't lose all this High Templar, he just would have won the game right there. All the Hydras are down right now, but right now we're still back into a very scrappy game, and it seems like the game is still equalizing right now, and Mini is mining out though. Mini is mining out. In another minute or two, especially off of the 12 Nexus build, he's going to mine out. He's only got 200 minerals left on most of these patches right now, and as long as Soma can stem the tide, stem this pressure right now that's coming out here from these Zealots, from this Archon, he will be able to end up winning the game because Mini is just going to be broke. He's going to be mined out. And these Hydras doing their best they can. Lurker eggs are out. Lurker eggs have been finished as well. And now these units are going to be forced back here by these Hydralisks. Really well done here from Soma. Mini's macro is also slightly slipping a little bit right now. He needs a third base though. He needs a third. And he's just not going for it. He's just going to end up mining out. I think he's going to go for one last hurrah. He realizes that he doesn't have enough left in the tank to actually even defend a third base at this point. So I think he's just saying, well, if I can't defend a third base, I might as well just go for the last hurrah, go for this last ditch attack right now. But unfortunately for him, I mean, Soma is just in a fantastic position. He's got so many Hydra Scout right now. I'm not sure where that Lurker ended up. Lurker is out as well. There are a couple of Zerbers out on the map right now. We will see if there is only one with the army. Yes, only one with the army. But the Tigers looking for a aggressive counterattack right now, or will they go back home to defend? It looks like they're going to be bringing back home to defend right now. Instead, are there any Lurkers back at home? No, just Hydras right now. So this last attack is going to be all that it comes down to. These High Templar, he has to really manage these storms properly. High Templar are going to go away. The Tigers are going to go away. Sniped off one High Templar. Really well done. Oh, the High Templar getting sniped again. Mini losing all the High Templar. No. Mini losing all the High Templar. Now the Zealots will be able to get top of these Hydras, but there's just not enough left over, I think. He is mined out. He is mined out. I repeat, Mini is mined out. He's got no minerals left over right now. And this last ditch attack, I mean, it's going, and the Zealots are trying to attack right now. But again, like I said, I thought that the +1 armor upgrade is much better to deal with a full-on Hydra army like this. Oh man, Mini's, God, this has always been Mini's issue. I have to say, Mini's issue with every PvZ is that he loses High Templar way too easily and loses the shuttle again with the Reaver inside of it. If that didn't end the game already, I mean, right there, that's gonna be it. The High Templar still not even storming, even though it's got energy. Really poor storm at that, only hitting 3 Hydras. And he's trying to go through here. He's trying to push across the map with these Zealots. But these Zealots are going to be badly damaged, I've got to say. Yeah, a lot of them taking quite a bit of hull damage, in fact. And here come the Hydras. They're going to pick off that last High Templar. They're going to pick off the last couple of Zealots. And that's going to be it. GG from Mini. And Soma's going to take 1 game back now, down 2 games to 1. Wow, what a crazy back and forth game right there. Shuttle Reaver, very interesting meta there from Mini, and Mini threw that game. That is one thing that I think separates a good Protoss player like Snow, like Bisu, is that their High Templar control in this matchup is extraordinary. And at the very least, if the High Templar is going to go down, they're going to take at least a few Hydras with them, if anything. Alright, we're going to game number 4 here on Overwatch. Up here at the top left-hand position as the white Pross is going to be Mini, which means that down here as the brown Zerg, it's going to be Soma. But yeah, hopefully we'll see, you know, Mini get better at high Templar control. I always feel like, every time I feel like I watch a PvZ from Mini, he's always losing all of those high Templar. He's just carelessly losing them. They're way out of position. He's not storing with them, even if they are out of position. Like, if you're going to lose the high Templar, if you're not going to control them as well, at least get some storms off of them. Use the energy that you've been banking up. Because a lot of those high Templar, he had banked up at least 1 to 2 storms with them. So there was definitely opportunities for him to whittle down the Hydra Force and maybe end up snowballing with the Zealot reinforcements to take the win there. But unfortunately for him, not able to do that, and instead, we're going to go into game number 4. And it looks like it's going to be most likely a gateway first here, actually, from Mini. Probe is positioned here for the gateway. Yes, it is. There it is. Forge going to pop down right below it. And this probe will come across the map and see exactly what our Zerg friend is doing. Nice thing about 2-player maps, you only have one direction to scout it. And this probe, interestingly enough, is taking, it seems like almost like a long way around. Trying to maybe skirt around the Overlord, maybe try to say like, hey, maybe I'm doing something sneaky by not showing you my probe coming across the map. And we'll see that there is going to be a 12 hatch. Now he could go for, oh my god, is he actually going to cannon rush here? Was this the play? The probe did skirt around, but he's not going for a forge. I'll cancel that pylon. He says that this pylon is the one that's going to be giving him supply. And this drone going to push away this probe. Will we see the forge go down here? The probe is moving out. Will he drop down that forge, or will he build a shield battery? The drone will see the pylon. He's going to be like, what the hell is this? Uh-oh. And there is the forge. Another probe coming out. It will be the cannon rush here, I think. With the Zealot coming down. Delayed cannon rush. I did see some people talk about this build, actually, that this build was a possibility. If you go gateway first against hatch first, you can still cannon rush the Zerg. And it's so interesting to see. This is the very first time I've actually ever seen this one. And here comes the first, oh no, shield battery coming out actually to defend with for the Zealot. And will we see those cannons coming down here? Oh, one probe does end up going down. Well, one drone goes down in exchange here. And we'll see the cannon. The cannon will go back down right behind the shield battery. Very beautifully placed cannon right there. And a creep colony going down. 2 creep colonies going down. This is what I want to see from game number 2 here from Soma against that proxy 2 hash. And will the cannon go up in time to deal with the sun colonies? I don't think it will. I think sun colonies are way too fast to be produced right now. The drone is forced to cancel right now. Another Zealot is coming in here, and the Zerglings are going to try to go after the probe. Yes, very beautiful snipe down the probe. Also pick up the cannon right now. The cannon will end up finishing just about the same time here as the Sun Colony. The Sun Colony is going to go after these Zealots instead, which means that this photon cannon will actually get some time here to attack. The Zealots are going to try to bait time right now. Unfortunately, this is not a shield battery in StarCraft 2. It cannot shield the cannon. And the cannon will end up going down, and the Zealots are going to try to pick off the Sun Colony. It looks like they will be able to pick up the Sun Colony, but the Zerglings here are going to be able to sneak by and attack this Zealot, and they're just going to go ahead and get by. And so this counterattack looks like it can go very well. Very scrappy game once again. More Zerglings being popped out here. This Zergling should be able to pick out this last Zealot, but these Zerglings back at home inside the base. No speed, but they will start going after these probes. There's not many Zealots here to back home to defend. One Zealot back at the ramp. It's not back home to defend, but actually poor micro there by Soma, allowing the Zerglings to get caught up inside the probe line right there. Not very well done. And Mini actually now, he's the one with the poor micro. End up losing a probe, another probe down to 5 HP hull damage. And what we see, yes, the probe does end up going down. Very nice micro there from Soma to pick it off. And when we see these Zerglings go for the counterattack going back, and now he's actually supply blocked. Mini is supply blocked here. And that means he can't produce any more Zealots for the time being. Only one more Zealot's going down. He's trying to make sure that he walls off this front here with probes with that Zealot. But the 2 Zerglings back at home are trying to still deal as much damage as possible to this probe line. And now the Zerglings, they're actually falling back. A little bit questionable here. I would have expected the Zerglings to just kind of stay out here and make sure that the Zealots cannot walk across the map too easily. But in the meantime, the lair is going to finish here. And it looks like he's banking up for a Spire. Yes, there it is. And it looks like that it's going to be so difficult here for Mini to actually defend against Mutas. This is such a fast tech build here from Soma. He's going straight into that layer, straight into that Mutalist production. And without gas, without a core up even right now, it's going to be so difficult. He's going to need to build 2 cannons here in the mineral line to deal with this, as well as another cannon here in the mineral line at the natural base. 1 cannon here at the front is not enough to deal with it. Hopefully this overload does not get picked off here from Soma. Yes, it won't get picked off. Spire is already halfway done right now, and Soma is just content with droning up. He's already got banked up quite a bit of gas here just from the 1 extractor, and especially with the 2 hatch production, he doesn't need to get that 2nd extractor just yet anyway. So he's very comfortable right now. He knows that he's in a great position, and I think that once these meters are going to pop out, run across the map into the main base, I mean, he's still got these speedlings inside the base scouting out for exactly what he's going to have to deal with once those meters come out. He will see the core. The core is nowhere near being done right now, and there's just no cannons, no anti-air to be seen at all, no Dragoons even, and I don't even think Mini knows that what's happening right now. He's trying to get a probe out across the map to scout for what's going on right now, but, you know, Soma's done a fantastic job of warding away the probes with those speedlings down the map, so Soma is just going to be able to catch Mini completely off guard right now. No cannons still in the mineral lines here of these bases, and the meters are going to pop out here. If he's got to start cannons now, because otherwise these are going to be basically like fireback hero turrets, where in ZvT, you know, those turrets are coming out at the very last possible second. Another probe looks like it's going to go down with the speedling. Yes, it will go down. The Zergling will just waltz its way right outside of the mineral line once again. Stargate is desperately trying to come out right now. And yeah, I mean, this Stargate is just not even close to being on time here. He will have seen the Stargate coming out. +1 upgrade is coming out as well. And so I think that Soma should just follow up with a 1 pair of Scourge and then just meet us every single time with those Larva. Zealots are going to try to push out here across the map, but unfortunately for him, Mitas are just going to fly right by and go after these mineral lines, and there's just nothing at all to defend right now. No Sun Colony back at home though. Will be a little bit scary for the Zealot counterattack. 5 Zealots coming out here right now, and this will be a pretty significant counterattattack. But in the meantime, the Mitas are just coming in here, destroying every single probe, and he's just going to look for the main. Nope, going straight for the cannon actually. He already knows that these Mitas are going to be easily able to take down these cannons. This 1 cannon finally morphing in here. We'll go after the low health Mita. No, it won't. The Mitas will be able to take down the cannons. Not a single Mita end up going down. A cannon going down the main, but that's going to be a GG here from Mini, and Soma will take game number 2, and he's going to even it back up. 2 games, 2 right now. This could be a GG play, reverse sweep. Yeah, Mini definitely a little bit overzealous there with that cannon rush. It definitely was annoying, but I don't think that you should go for cannon rushes if you go gate first. At least that execution was definitely not the best. But anyways, here we go. We're going to game number 5, the very last game of our best of 5 series. A very lengthy best of 5 here between these 2 players, between Soma and Mini. Last game here on Neo Sylphid. It's going to be the orange part spawning here at the bottom left-hand position. It's going to be Mini, which means that over here as the teal Zerg, it's going to be Soma. Yeah, and Soma definitely picked out the right tech path and the right decisions there in that game. He realized that, you know, especially with how much infrastructure that Mini invested, he knew that there wasn't going to be much home to defend. And so he knew that either A, he can counterattack and force the Zealots to stay home, which means he doesn't have to worry about defenses. And then he immediately teched up into that layer, and that was a very smart decision there from Soma. Very well done. Looks like it's going to be another Gateway First here from Mini, just really pressuring with Gateway First in every single game pretty much. Definitely very low amounts of Forge First, and I mean, I've got to say, yes, Gateway First has become much more popular. It's just a much more flexible build, and you can react a lot better. You don't have to, you know, spend so much infrastructure on cannons that don't do anything. You can use that money to invest, number 1, on cheaper Zealots. Zealots are cheaper than cannons, and number 2, Zealots can counterattack and defend, whereas cannons can only defend. So it's very similar to the Jaedong style that was popularized after the Savior era in the Zerg metagame, where they're thinking, well, some colonies are great to defend, but they can't counterattack. And Jaedong was the guy who was thinking, well, why not just make only Zerglings and really be able to counterattack with them and put pressure on Terran and Protoss instead of spending your money on those defenses. Nicely done there by that drone to actually ward away that probe, so the probe wouldn't be able to get in time to block that hatchery. But it will be just a very standard game so far from both these players. Gateway first versus the overpull into hatchery. And I think that this means that Mini is most likely just going to go ahead and, excuse me, probably go into Nexus right after Gateway. He will try to pressure here with a couple of these initial Zealots. And after seeing that first Zealot move across the map, definitely someone will start investing more into those Zerglings instead of building those drones. Actually, really interesting here. The Zealot's chasing the drone out here. Maybe the Zealot's scouting for a third base? This is definitely an intriguing decision here from Mini to send a Zealot across the map like this. We'll end up seeing this third base. This third base will go down here from Soma. But Soma, this means that Soma's had a lot more time to wait for these Zergs to come out here. And it looks like it's just going to be one Zealot pressuring this hatchery. Actually, I think it's so funny that the Zealot and the hatchery, the DPS and the HP gain from the hatchery morphing is exactly the same. So the hatchery will stay at this 220 HP for the rest of the time until the Zealot stops attacking. And the Zealot will end up going down here to these Zerglings. A couple more Zealots are now going to see this and use this time to push across the map into the natural base. The Zealot will end up going down though. It's going to try to tuck itself right behind the assimilator. And nice micro there from Soma, bringing back the Zerglings to allow the Zealot to get surrounded a lot easier. And that Zealot will end up going down. 7 HP. And there it is, going down. But what we see has this bought enough time here for the Zealots back here at the natural. The Zealots, pretty good micro here so far from Mini. Actually, fantastic micro here from Mini. Managed to bring out quite a few of these Zerglings. And now the Zerglings are just going to waltz away and attack the Zealot. 2 at a time. No. Poor Ooh, almost lost it. Nope. Oh, he does end up getting this time. It's a little weird. I think he needed position 1 on this side and 1 close to assimilator. But maybe it is only one Zergling entrance. And we'll see. Will the Zerglings really get through? No, they won't. The Forge will be in time to stop the Zerglings from getting through. But the Zerglings will be very annoying to pressure here and get some chip damage here onto that onto those gateways and Forge. Shield battery is also done right now because he needs to make sure that these Zerglings do not get flooded in here against these Zealots. But very annoying so far. It's just mass Zerglings stream across the map. And especially with Zergling speed about to finish as well, about halfway done. This gateway is also getting very close to falling as well. Shield battery will help these Zealots take some HP back onto them. But it's very risky right now here. This gateway cannot get killed. And a Zealot gets surrounded. One Zealot gets surrounded right now. That will go down and putting a lot of pressure here onto this front. The cannon will end up going up soon. Will we be able to see this gateway go down? No. It looks like the cannon will finish just in time here for these Zerglings. But back at home, he has been droning up. Someone's been droning up very well. Will we see the lair or are we going to see the Hydra Den? I was about to say Hydra Den most likely because of how many Zerglings they've made. But again, this time very different from game number 2. Game number 2, we saw a very aggressive Zergling pressure. Or sorry, was that game 1? Game 1, very different. He had 10 drones, this time 21 drones. So he's essentially already saturated at every single one of these bases. 3 drones here. We're going to see that this is 7 drones at the main. And we're going to see the 7 drones here at the natural. So we just need a couple more drones here. Actually, even building more drones than that. He's going very economic this time instead. Not even going to Hydras just yet. Maybe he's playing very greedy here, I've got to say. So now he's got, here's the 9 drones from the main. The 7 drones here at the natural. And now the main, or the third base is actually getting saturated here. 5 drones right there, and 2 more being mained over. Actually, 3 more being mained over. So it's going to be very, very economically pressuring here with this 3-hatch Hydra play. And that being said, it could also be a fake. We could see just a 4th and a 5th hatchery being thrown down here immediately. And yes, there we go. We're going to see that 4th hatchery. Actually, a very aggressive 4th hatchery placement here. Going for that 4th base immediately. And I think that the idea right now behind this is he's not going to be pressured really by Protoss. He's going to be very easily and very comfortable to defend these 4 bases. And especially with the Hydras coming out here and with how defensive Protoss is going to be playing, that I can get away with this 4th hatchery. Now, this also could be just another variation of the 9734 4 build, which is where you get your 973, go for 3-hatch Hydra, and then you build your 4th base with the 4th hatchery. Instead of putting it inside one of your bases as a macro hatch, you're going to go straight into a 4th base, and as well as a 5th hatchery. So Soma, with these additional 5 drones, basically, he's essentially made 5 extra drones for what this build normally calls for. he's going to be in a great economic position here. Actually, another even extra drone here at the main base as well. And so he's going to be a lot of pressure being put down here onto the Paras. Paras is going to have to invest a lot here into these cannons and this infrastructure to defend, which means that he's not going to be able to get into those gateways as quickly as he wants to in order to pressure. And especially when this Corsair comes out across the map and sees that he has in fact gone for this very aggressive 4th base. I mean, Mini's going to be so far behind at this point. The gateway's going down as well. Does he have any more gateways back at home? Okay, he's got 3 gateways back at home inside his main base. He's canceling one of the cannons. I think he's seen the 4th hatchery, so he knows that Hydras are not likely to come out right now. But definitely here, this Forge, we're going to see once Hydra range upgrade finishes, will this be upgrade finish in time to pick off the Forge before +1 finishes? It's going to be a very close race here. The +1 Hydra upgrade is going to finish right now. Here comes the Forge. The Zealots have to push out very soon here to protect the Forge. The Hydra is going to come out here and they're going to pack up, going to start to attack. The Zealots just need to defend that +1 and will finish. Very nicely done here from Mini. We'll be able to finish that +1 upgrade. Such an important upgrade to finish, actually. And yeah, here comes the +1. It will end up finishing in time. And now +1 armor being immediately started here. We'll probably have to drop a Forge at the main base right here, because, I mean, this Forge, all he needs to defend here is that +1 attack upgrade. The +1 armor, not as important. The Forge will be remade anyways. But now with these +1 speed Zealots here, they will be able to put quite a bit of pressure here onto these Hydras. But that being said, it's not easy. I mean, you got 5 hatcheries producing Hydras non-stop right now here for Soma, as well as, I mean, he's going up to 7 hatcheries, 6th, 7th hatchery coming out right now. His macro is just insane. We see a lot more drones coming out here as well. The Zealots are going to try to get in here. Really bad position here for the Hydras, getting surrounded here by the Zealots right now. Not the best for Soma, but it looks like Mini will be pushed back. There's just way too many Hydras here to deal with this, especially with the Sun Colony being morphed right now as well. Evolution Chamber has the no +1 just yet. He needs to invest more to Overlords. Yeah, 7 Overlords on the way. He's already droned up this 4th base, droned up this 3rd base right now. He's got a 2nd assembler, not the natural, which is curious, but actually at the 3rd base. And we're going to see Mini continuously to try to pressure right now. He's very far behind. We have to note that he is far behind right now because he economically, the Zerg on 4 bases is so strong, especially with how many drones that he's able to get out. And now the Zealots are going to try to come in here. A nice blockade here, nice drone drill to push the Zealots back a little bit. The Sun Colony is doing tremendous damage here to attack these Zealots. The Zealots are going to try to get into as much as possible. The drone drill here has been fantastic from Soma. The Sun Colony does end up going down, but the Hydras are still dealing so much DPS here from the back right now. But the Zealots, they're very strong. It looks like they actually are able to break through right now. Will we see how many drones they're able to pick off right now? But with the macro, the reinforcing macro here from these Hydralisks, will it be enough for Mini to continues to push forward? No. The Zealots do end up going down. Another wave of Zealots is on the way right now. How many gateways are back at home? It looks like 6 gateways, just non-stop producing of Zealots to try to keep as much pressure here on the Zerg as possible. Soma is continuously trying to make sure that he can stem the tide here of these Zealots. The Zealots are just continuously to move forward though, without any kind of hesitation right now. And the Zealots are getting right on top of the Hydras. There's not enough defenses here to hide behind, and the Hydras are just getting right on, getting surrounded by these Zealots. It looks like there potentially could be a snowballing effect here from these Zealots, but I think that there should be enough of a reinforcement line here from Soma to defend this as it stands. But once this attack force gets cleaned up here, we're going to see Mini with another big attack here of High Templar and Zealots potentially just move out here and try to end the game. Now Zealots going into the main base. He's trying to drag the Hydras into the main so that they are far away from the natural and for the other base as much as possible as the rest of his army is moving across the map right now. Will Mini also go for potentially a 3rd base behind this? He definitely could afford it and definitely could be very safe behind it because there's just way too many units right now. Also just way too much Storm to push back. No counterattack is feasible here from Soma. He should know that there's way too many High Templar. That being said, Mini's High Templar control is not the best, so that could play into Soma's decision making here if he wants to go after this. He will see that High Templar. Not too many Zealots here right now. They are very nicely healthy High Templar. But a couple of decent Storms right now are able to soften up these Hydras quite a bit. A lot of Zealots now moving forward, and maybe we're going to see Soma here actually not be able to hold on for this. There's just too many Zealots right now going across on these Hydras. Beautiful Storms right now, and Soma is actually just losing too many units right now. Mini, it looks like, has had a snowball effect here onto these units, and it looks like that Soma maybe was a little over aggressive in taking that many hatcheries. Will end up going down. That's going to be GG. Mini pulling out the victory here. It went up 2-0, got tied up 2-2, but was able to come out here. And I would say he was playing from behind here, but maybe Soma got a little too greedy, making too many of those hatcheries. and yeah, just got absolutely punished for it. I hope you guys enjoyed this series done by myself, Flash for the win. For those of you who are more familiar with my casting, definitely a little bit new of a setup right now. Hopefully the new microphone sounds okay. Definitely leave your comments in the chat to let me know if the microphone should be louder, quieter, or if I should move it a little bit further away from my voice, maybe a little bit closer, whatever it may be. But I really appreciate all the support that you guys have been giving me. I read every single one of the comments on all of our casts. So please keep up those comments. It definitely helps motivate us to continue to cast. And definitely share StarCraft with your friends. Tell them, come watch StarCastTV. We're continuously providing high-level commentary here on this channel and providing some excellent games to be casted. Stay tuned. We have some wonderful, wonderful casts coming up right now. I definitely have a couple lined up that I talked with Cruiser about. We have, it's a little spoiler, we have a Ultimate Battle that I'll be doing cast, as well as, hopefully, we'll be seeing the debut of a new caster that I'll be doing dual casters with. Elisa Gray, also known as Esports John, for those of you who know who she is. She did some casting with me back in ASL 2, so a little shout out to her. We'll be doing some casts together as well. So look forward to those. So anyway, stay tuned for the future, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.